you. All right, so let's get started. So the format is for each candidate to be interviewed individually and sequentially. The questions for each candidate are the same and will have the same amount of response time. Martin is the timekeeper. And Naomi, can you see Martin's screen and his timer?
Yes, I see it now.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, and it might be good if you could pin his screen, and that way you could make sure that you're always seeing it and he's not shifting off to a different page.
Okay, I'm not sure how to do that. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to do that. I'm on my phone because I'm in a parking lot doing this interview. So,
Okay.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Okay.
And I'm okay being told to, stop. So.
All right, sounds good. All right, so I'll be asking the questions, and we'll start with a 1-minute opening statement. And then there will be 4 questions, each with a 2-minute response time, a lightning round of 3 questions with a 30-second response time, and a 1-minute closing statement.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Please begin with your opening statement.
So, thank you very much for having provided me the opportunity to interview with you for an endorsement. I am a member of this particular club, and so it would be an extreme honor to be endorsed by my home club. I am currently the board president for the Fremont Union High School District Board, and I plan to and will work very hard to make sure that I retain my seat. I am a social worker by profession and have worked hard within the schools and in the communities to make sure that equity, educational equity, and social justice is something that is a part of our community and seen by our community and worked on by our community. And so if I am reelected, I will commit to being devoted to high quality education in our school district for all of our students. And when I say all, I mean all students. So thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, so first we have the first question is, how would you ensure the district continues or improves on the quality of education for all students?
Okay, so this question was interesting to me because we are a high performing school district. And so it's hard to improve on good, but we always want to improve on and get better. So we are considered a destination district. We're, as I said, high performing. We are nationally known, and our graduation rate is 96%. And so, and with that, the district has a commitment to excellence and equity. For me, I am committed to equity first, because then I think equity then leads to excellence. And the other part that I wanted to touch on is that we are very proud to have comprehensive high schools. And so we have opportunities for students, not only academically, but through the arts and music, sports, and our career tech education. And we are, I think, all very committed to making sure that this is provided for all of our students within the district. And so those are the areas that I would focus on to continue to thrive and be a great school district, is that equity and excellence and the comprehensive high schools. And the other part is really working very committedly and engaged with our diverse communities. We have a very Sunnyvale and Cupertino are our largest cities, and very diverse in many different ways. And it's geographically very big. And I feel like I am one of the candidates that knows the district, both geographically, culturally, socioeconomically. I've been boots on the ground in many ways out in those communities. So um, I think that when you know and understand your community, then you can serve the community better and then help to make better educational choices so that we can continue to grow and be excellent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And to kind of expand on that, the next question is, how does the district demonstrate and support diversity, equity, and inclusion? And how should they?
Okay. I mentioned that we have our value statement, and that's, again, excellence and equity, but I say equity and excellence. Each school has a equity task force that involves a wide range of people, whether it's students, teachers, certificated staff, and administrators, to work on equity within their schools. Really looking at hiring practices and seeing what areas that we are not maybe seeing representation. We are a district of primarily students of color, and looking at how our leadership reflects our student communities. The other thing is that I think that we are very good in allowing for different school clubs to come onto campus if they meet all of the requirements that are needed. And I think that ensures a lot of diversity and equity and students to feel included. One of the things that I'd like to continue to work on is I feel it's not that there is differences within our north part of our district and our south part of our district. And it's something that I've worked on personally. You know, when I have been working very hard to try to find a candidate from North Sunnyvale or from Sunnyvale to step into running for office. And, you know, I worked with many people within the community to try to identify and get someone ready. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find someone from North Sunnyvale, but I am excited in the fact that we have probably 5 candidates that we can help to build up that pipeline for the next election to come. And I think that's really important to ensure diversity and equity and inclusion. So thank you.
Thank you. And the next question, there has been a great deal of attention to the issues of sexual assault and harassment and racism in our society in the last few years. What policies have worked to address these evils and promote a safe learning environment for our children? And what other policies might be needed to address these current issues?
Okay, prior to my current job, I worked at the YWCA as the Senior Director of Social Justice, and the YWCA's mission is to eliminate racism and empower women. And so I live that mission, and even after I've left, I still continue to live and breathe that mission in whatever work that I do. Within our district, I think that really looking to make sure that the enforcement of Title IX is effective and comprehensive, and we are looking at culturally relevant understandings of what happens, going over and reviewing our policies and procedures and having solid procedures in place. With all of this, I think that what's important too is prevention efforts, and it's because we can't mandate feelings and attitudes and values. We can address the behaviors. And so at least, and hopefully with our prevention programs, we can look to build that empathy, build the relationships, build an understanding, and build students to a place where those actions are not acceptable. I think ethnic studies is crucial, and I was one that worked very hard to make sure that ethnic studies our curriculum was in place and was a solid curriculum. Now it's not where we want it to be, but it was something that we needed to get past. And so ethnic studies is an area that I strongly support. And then sometimes I wanted to say that sometimes policies and procedures can be counterproductive. And so, and it highlights inequities, and that sometimes certain communities get highlighted. And so I'd really like to look more at restorative practices when we are working with our students, and of course, you know, okay, thank you.
Right, and the last of the 2-minute questions is, what criteria would you use to evaluate literature and textbooks used in the curriculum?
Okay, so we have processes in place. I mean, we look to make sure that, you know, they are notable type of books, that there are other entities that have recommended them, like the California State Librarians Association. We also use the guideline from the California State Department of Education. Some of the things I really look for is diversity and inclusion, making sure that the topics that are represented, the author is really part of the community that he or she is talking about. And then just as important, I think what's important is when approval is brought to the board, that I like to see how it's going to be incorporated. And I think that not only the literature itself, but the dialogue that happens after is crucial to learning and development. And so those are the things that I would be looking for. And I have to just add that I have been really pleased with the type of instructional materials and supplemental materials that have been brought to the board for approval. Thank you.
Okay, great. Next is our lightning round with 30-second responses. And there are 3 questions. So are you ready for these questions?
Yes.
Okay, so first is, do schools test for ADD or other learning disabilities, and should they?
Well, I think that schools need to look at all options to make sure students are successful. And I'm not sure that they test specifically for ADD. I mean, there is a process in bringing forth students that teachers or staff have concern with. And so we would need to make sure that they are, you know, following that process, because we also don't want to label students inappropriately. But I think the important thing is that each student is assessed individually. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next is, how is the district doing to support safe routes to school and alternatives to car transportation?
Okay, so safe routes to school is really important to me. I drive past students every morning when I go to work. I asked to make sure that I could do a bike ride to see what it looks like, especially in our North Sunnyvale area. And even though I had an idea, I did not really truly fully understand until I did that bike ride. And so, you know, we are active in our safe routes to school committees and our policies, and looking and working with the communities to make sure that routes are safe. But I personally am committed to that.
Thank you. And the last one is, should FUHSD students be required to be vaccinated for COVID-19 like they are for polio, measles, etc.?
Well, from a public safety standpoint, you know, this is, I feel that anything to keep all of our students safe is something that we need to look at. And if the CDC or other federal guidelines come out and say that this is important, that this is a requirement, we need to support that. I personally feel that you know, vaccinations are not only protect the student, but also the community at large. And so but I also know that there needs to be exceptions made, because not everyone, it's not everything fits all type of thing. Thank you.
All right, so that concludes the lightning round, and you now have the opportunity for a 1-minute closing statement.
Well, again, thank you very much for this opportunity to meet with you and request your endorsement. I am, again, very committed to our school district and to the Sunnyvale community. I have truly enjoyed the job that I was given job and responsibility as I was given as a trustee. And I hope to continue that. My focus when re-elected is again, equity and social emotional learning, and just working and building our communities and having with that building, excellence in our schools. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your statements and responses. And that concludes this your interview. And so I think you are going to be reassigned back to the main room, and we'll bring.
Right.
Okay.
Who's next, Rosa?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then do I wait there until all three candidates or the other two candidates are finished?
I mean, you don't have to stick around, honestly. You can just
Okay.
leave.
Okay, because I can't be part of the discussion. I know, so
Yeah, but you can vote. Like you should have a link to the ballot, so you can use that to vote.
okay, I will do so. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
And, okay, bye.
Okay, and Julia, are you just going to leave the recording going as opposed to stop and start? That makes sense.
Hello.
Hello, it's Rosa Kim. Thank you for joining. Let's see. So
Can you
is
hear
it
me
okay
well?
yes, we can hear you.
Great.
We're planning to record this, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Actually, we're already recording. Okay, so Rosa Kim is our next candidate to be interviewed. Just to summarize, the format is for each candidate to be interviewed individually and sequentially. You are the second of third of three. And the questions for each candidate are the same, and you'll have the same amount of response time as the other candidates. Martin is our timekeeper, and you should make sure that you can see his Zoom pane and the timer. And if you want to pin his name, then you'll be sure that it doesn't disappear. All right, we'll start with a 1-minute opening statement, and that will be followed by 4 questions, each with a 2-minute response time, and a lightning round of 3 questions with a 30-second response time, and finally closing with a 1-minute closing statement.
So you're going to ask questions, right?
And I'll be asking the questions, yes. Yes. Are you ready for your opening statement?
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. It is so nice to meet you all. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak about my thoughts. I'm currently serving as Vice President of the FUHSD board. I'm a longtime Sunnyvale resident and proud parent of a Homestead alum. I have more than 10 years of experience as a teacher and principal of a local language school, which has over 1,000 students. As a certified college advisor, I have volunteered helping under-resourced students at a local nonprofit. I decided to run for re-election because I would like to utilize my knowledge and experience as a board member to continue to help our students and community. Working with students and our school community members has been a top priority in my life as an immigrant parent and educator. I am more than happy to further connect with each of you and work together for our students and school community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The first question is, how would you ensure the district continues or improves the quality of education for all students? And you have 2 minutes to respond.
First, providing a comprehensive program for all students is important. I will ensure that our district is continuously committed to hold high expectations for every student and to put all the resources to ensure the resource success of all students. In addition, it is important to incorporate diverse needs of our students in our programs by providing academics, arts, and career development programs. Providing students more chances to develop their future career is giving more motivation for learning. I will ensure developing more career pathways and partnership with community colleges to support students seeking career skills and opportunities after high school. Second, providing extra support for under-resourced students is critical. In order to do that, I will make sure our students continue to monitor data and feedback from students, parents, and staff to evaluate the efficacy of our institutional strategies and other interventions designed to support every student to achieve at high level. Also, helping English learners has always been in my heart. I want to reinforce the support for our English learners and create a welcoming culture for them and their immigrant families to have more connection with their school. Lastly, social emotional connection. Schools need to provide care, support, and belonging to every student. It is from a social emotional connection between teachers and students. I will work on utilizing maximum resources for social emotional learning for our students and also staff members to create a safe space for learning.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, how does the district demonstrate and support diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how should they?
I can say there are many pieces of to demonstrate and support diversity, equity, and inclusion. I will list what our district is doing and what we need to do more at the same time. First, we have put effort on diversifying our textbooks and supplementary materials reflecting our student population. It is very important to learn and understand the diverse culture and perspective of our community. I will reinforce continuing the effort to diversify our textbooks and supplementary materials. Second is diversifying our school employees. The board has received reports on our hiring process and data regularly. We are putting effort on recruitment for diverse teachers and staff members, and it has been increasing slightly. I will continue to encourage our effort to diversify our teachers and staff members. Third, offering programs to help our students and staff members be aware of unconscious bias is important. We have offered that and continuously send messages through advisory sessions for students and professional learning for teachers. We also have a new position in the district office. It is called Director of Leadership Development, promoting equitable outcomes through administrator accountability. This staff member will be a force to lead discussion of equity across our school sites. I'm also excited that ethnic studies will be implemented soon from the pilot program for 2023-24 school year. Lastly, receiving input from students via regular surveys and implementing their ideas in the classroom, learning, and curriculum is important. We have conducted a school-wide student survey, and I will emphasize creating more platforms to listen and implement their ideas in the classroom.
Thank you. The next question is, there has been a great deal of attention to the issues of sexual assault and harassment and racism in our society in the last few years. What policies have worked to address these evils and promote a safe learning environment for our children? And what other policies might be needed to address these issues?
First of all, the district has a Title IX sexual harassment complaint procedure for sexual assault and harassment, and Title IX coordinator in the district investigates the recorded incidents. Second, all the staff members, including board members, do mandatory training every year. Our board policy on sexual harassment strongly encourages students who feel they are being or have been sexually harassed on school grounds or at a school-sponsored or school-related activity by another student or an adult to immediately contact their teachers, the principal, or the district's Title IX coordinator, or any other available school employee. After investigation, this disciplinary action will be followed, including suspension and/or expulsion. Our students and parents get notified of the procedure via student and parent handbook every school year. For racism, we have code of ethical conduct to prevent racism in the school community. I believe we need to work more on educational programs to prevent any sexual assault, harassment, and racism. Creating and promoting a safe learning environment can be reinforced by continuous discussion on campus. Also, helping our students be aware of the complaint procedure should be reinforced. Recently, I talked with a student group in the district and realized they are not aware of the reporting and complaint procedures. Ongoing effort on sharing the information of the procedure with our stakeholder is important. Third, support services to a victim, witness, or other student affected by those acts needs to be ensured. All those practice and support will show the district's commitment to a safe learning environment for our students.
Okay, thank you. And the last of our 2-minute questions is, what criteria would you use to evaluate literature and textbooks used in the curriculum?
First of all, our district has a process to approve textbooks and supplementary material, and the board approves any proposed textbooks or supplementary material. Personally, I believe the following criteria needs to be prioritized. 1, age appropriateness. 2, alignment with the state academic content standards. 3, textbook needs to be visually organized and appealing. 4, they should be easy to use and it should include support for teachers. 5, they should encourage engagement to meet students' various needs and abilities. Last and not least, no discrimination should be in the content, and they should accommodate our various student population.
All right, so next we'll move to our lightning round with 30-second responses to 3 questions. The first question is, do schools test for ADD or other learning disabilities, and should they?
Yeah, we have the special ed department, and then our staff members is in charging of all the special ed program. And actually, for the budget wise, it's a big portion of the resources to support our special ed students. And we keep finding resources and investing our resources to accommodate our special ed students' needs.
Right. Next is, how is the district doing to support safe routes to school and alternatives to car transportation?
Yeah, so we do have many students who choose to bike, and I live very close to Homestead High School, and then on the morning time when the school starts, I go to see our students often and regularly, and this is really important in providing and supporting the students who bike and walk is really credential. And we educate our students, and also we have a parents group really reinforcing and working together to make a map, a safe map for our bike students.
30 seconds isn't long.
Yeah.
All right. So the last lightning round question is, should FUHSD students be required to be vaccinated for COVID-19 like they are for polio, measles, etc.?
Yeah, I strongly believe our students need to be vaccinated, but maybe some students or parents will oppose, they're getting vaccinated, but we need to, of course, we accommodate their special needs, but basic line is for all the community. So we need to reinforce our vaccination, the policy to all the students and staff members.
Great, thank you. All right, that concludes the lightning round, and you now have the opportunity for a 1-minute closing statement.
Thank you. For closing, I would like to share my priorities as a board member. First, I will further strengthen students' social and emotional wellness because it is foundational for their learning. Having a positive self-esteem and mindset is critical for being a self-motivated and independent learner. Second, developing more inclusive means of communication with all district stakeholders is very important for me. When we actively implement input from our students, staff, parents, and community members, we can continue to create trust. We can make our excellent schools even better based on trust and collaboration. Lastly, I will maintain and enforce the comprehensive high school programs. I will try to maintain it and enforce the comprehensive high school programs with various program offerings while attracting and retaining our dedicated teachers. As we all know, raising a child takes a village. I'm looking forward to continuing my work for students with the support from each of you.
Thank you so much for your statements and responses. This concludes the interview. And again, thank you. And we'll have you transition out of this breakout room and bring in the next candidate.
Thank you again.
All right, our
Yeah.
next candidate.
And Rosa, feel free to just drop off the call or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will leave the room. Bye.
Yeah, we'll let you know the results. We'll let you know the results after the voting.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, next we have Stanley Coe. And can you make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, my last name is Coe, like the first you say, if you say Coke, then the first part is Coke is my last name.
Okay, super, thank you. All right, so thank you for coming and sitting for this interview. Just to summarize the format. So we have each candidate is interviewed individually and sequentially. And the questions for each candidate are the same and have the same amount of response time. Martin Pine is our timekeeper. If you can make sure you can see his Zoom window, it will show the time there. So I'll be asking the questions. We'll start with a 1-minute opening statement from you. Then there will be 4 questions, each with a 2-minute response time, and a lightning round of 3 questions with 30-second response times. And then we'll close with a 1-minute closing statement from you. All right, Mr. Coe, are you ready with your opening statement?
Yes.
All right, please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me and your time. My name is Stanley Coe. I'm an educator, engineer, and father. I got my MBA degree from the Braniff Graduate School, University of Dallas, August 2nd, 1991, and a Master of Science degree in Computer Science of Engineering from Santa Clara University, September 1st, 1995. Also an Honorary Service Award recipient from California State PTA, presented by Faria School PTA, March 16, 2005. As a 26 years resident of volunteer of Cupertino, I have a deep appreciation for how the excellent schools of the Fremont Union High School District make our community attractive today and provide a foundation for our students' future in an increasingly competitive world. I have 2 adult children who were born and grew up in Cupertino and benefited from our local schools. As a principal of community school, teacher, and volunteer, I have gained the skills needed to guide the Fremont Union High School District in the coming years. Thank you.
All right, thank you. The first question is, how would you ensure the district continues or improves on the quality of education for all students? And you have 2 minutes to respond.
Yes, the Fremont Union High School District has a great reputation for its schools and excellent education programs. As a school board member, I will focus on ensuring its reputation and programs stay solid. Teachers are one of our most valuable assets and partners. and I will work to make sure they are well supported. It is important for the school district to remember that its core mission to prepare all students to be successful and responsible citizens can only be achieved through the dedicated efforts of its certificated and classified staff. And the district must make sure that its employees are themselves supported. Also ensure underserved minority communities can maintain quality education for their students in the school district. My priority will always be the benefit of the students and the teachers to fulfill the educational needs. Thank you.
All right, the next question is, how does the district demonstrate and support diversity, equity, and inclusion, and how should they?
Okay, thanks. I'm also believe in student equity and opportunities for all students to succeed. We embrace the multicultural background of the community in the school district. Fremont Union High School District provides education opportunities to all students. Learning opportunities that provide equal or better education programs in the school district. Fremont Union High School District has multiple program offering: an English learners program, middle college, college now, AVID AVID program, after-school tutoring, summer academy, multiple individualized programs through the education options program, as well as an adult school that provides students classes to make up for needed credits. Fremont Union High School District has 5 comprehensive high schools and the educational options which provide pathways to succeed for every student. Programs for pregnant or parenting teens, students transitioning from the juvenile justice system participate in the district's customized learning program. Most of all, that ensure underserved minority communities can maintain a quality education for their students in our school district. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Here's the next question. There has been a great deal of attention to the issues of sexual assault and harassment and racism in our society in the last few years. What policies have worked to address these evils and promote a safe learning environment for our children? And what other policies might be needed to address current issues?
Yes, thank you. Promote the community awareness to prevent bullying, intimidation, harassment, assault in our society. It's very important. Frequently giving talks or seminars to various community groups to promote a safe learning environment, including addressing bullying, intimidation, harassment, assault issues. In the Fremont Union High School District, setting a zero tolerance policy to address bullying, intimidation, harassment, assault, offer seminars or drills to students and the parents to understand what kind of language or action will be considered bullying, intimidation, harassment, assault. Also, the district established advisory committees, and I will support that to address bullying, intimidation, harassment, assault issues, as well as at the school level, committees from PTSAS focusing on these current issues. Thank you.
All right, and the last of the 2-minute response questions is,
Conforming to the California Department of Education, issues of social and sensitivity content.
Sorry. All right, next is our lightning round with 30-second responses to 3 questions. So the first question is, do schools test for ADD or other learning disabilities, and should they?
Yes, I think we as a community, we support to all the students has an equal right of learning.
Okay, next, how is the district doing to support safe routes to school and alternatives to car transportation?
The traffic around our Cupertino School, Fremont Union High School District, it's very crowded, especially we have high-tech companies here. And I think it's important to work with the cities and cooperate within our school district and find out the solution to offer a safe transportation solutions. And maybe we can find a right way to share the transportation among the each schools.
Right, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
the last of 30-second response questions is, should FUHSD students be required to be vaccinated for COVID-19 like they are for polio, measles, etc.?
Well, I think my personally, I got full vaccinated for the COVID, and I support that because that will keep the students safe and the community safe, and it's a good solution to resolve and make the whole communities much safer. To have encourage the parents to take the students to fully vaccinated. Thank you.
All right, that concludes our lightning round of questions. So you now have the opportunity for a 1-minute closing statement.
Okay, thank you. I'm honored to have earned early endorsements from Congressman Ro Khanna, California Assembly Evan Lowe, Santa Clara County Supervisor Otto Lee, Cupertino City Council Member Hong Wei, Saratoga City Council Member Yan Zhao, Sunnyvale City Council Member-elect Linda Sell, Fremont Union High School Board members Bill Wilson, Jeff Moore, Naomi Nakano Matazuno, Muto, and Rosa Kim, and Roy Rockland. Fremont Union High School former Superintendent Polly Bovey, Foothill De Anza Community Colleges District Board President Patrick Heron, Trustee Pearl Chen and Gilbert Wang, and other leaders of the numerous education community group. And I would be my greatest honor to have your support and endorsement. Thank you.
All right, thank you. This concludes the interview. Thank you so much for your statements and responses.
And you feel free to drop off now. We'll let you know what happens after the voting.
Thank you.